All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you, just like me. All right, Cats in Space, everybody. If you haven't heard Cats in Space, you need to go check it out. Kickstart the Sun. This could have been my number one album from last year. It is phenomenal. It is amazing. It is the greatest album ever made. That I can tell you. And if you like Queen and Cheap Trick and stuff kind of in that realm, maybe even the Fab Four, maybe even the Beatles. Yeah. Cats in Space. It's kind of like a Muppets thing, right? Cats in Space. You know who's a cool cat these days, in my eyes, is the great Mick Mars, who used to be in Motley Crue. This story is a little bit aggravating. Motley Crue is halting Mick Mars' solo album from being released, according to John Corabi. In a recent interview, John Corabi hinted at a possible setback for Mick Mars with his upcoming solo album. He brought up the current spat between the guitarist and Motley Crue and explained how it might mess with the release of Mars' solo work. Commenting on the album's possible release, he said, "Hopefully he gets it out. The unfortunate part of it is the record label that he is signed to is owned by the manager of Motley Crue, Alan Kovac." So I don't know all the stuff that's going on with Motley and how it's affecting the release of the record, but we'll see. Mars actually started doing this solo gig back in 2016 and got Corabi to help out with vocals on two songs, Shake the Cage and Gimme Blood. So obviously John Corabi has a decent relationship with Mick Mars. Teasers of these tracks were dropped the same year, but there hasn't been any more news on them since then. When asked what happened to the songs, the former Motley Crue vocalist said, "To be honest with you, I don't know, because it's Mick's solo record. He just called me and asked me to sing a couple of songs. I did it. Whether or not he uses them, that's up to him, because I'm just as curious as everybody else to hear it." The singer also talked about the feud between Mars and his former band and about John 5 replacing the guitarist. He noted, he says, "I don't want to say anything. I love John as well. John is a great guitar player, so I've just been keeping my mouth shut. All I can say is everything that's happening right now, none of it surprises me at all. There's always drama around those guys. Always. So I'm like zipping my mouth." Mentioning his time with the band, Corabi said, "It was awesome being in that band, but also very difficult because there was always some craziness going on all the time. It wears you out. So all this stuff that's going on with them right now doesn't surprise me at all." He says, egos, greed, whatever. The fight between Mars and Motley Crue is still going on without a resolution in sight, and Corabi is unsure if it ever will end. From what I can gather, Mick is pissed. I don't know if he's rightly pissed or wrongly pissed, but he's pissed. And we'll just leave it at that. That's something that they'll sort through and figure out, and hopefully they can bury the hatchet. But who knows? Currently, Mars is still working on a solo project, Another Side of Mars, as Motley Crue works on their new album and gears up for its US tour in August. So, John Corabi, telling it like it is, he typically does. He's back, by the way, with the Dead Daisies, John Corabi, in case you didn't know that. That's kind of breaking news. I think he fits the Dead Daisies better than Glenn Hughes and maybe some other singers. In any event, I don't think Mick Mars is going to get a lot of attention, especially if the guy who owns the record is the manager of Motley Crue. In the meantime, don't forget to check out Cats in Space. This is truly great melodic rock, like Queen and Cheap Trick and the Beatles and stuff like that. Very original sounding. Great songwriting. Great sound all the way through, and they have other albums you ought to check out. Cats in Space. And don't forget to check out Modern Retro Radio. If Mick Mars does drop a new release, you might hear it over on Modern Retro Radio, maybe even the new Motley Crue, because it's kind of going to be a charity case to put that on the radio, but who knows? You have Bob Rock involved, and you've got artificial intelligence, so it might be fine. Might sound like 1987 all over again, folks. In the meantime, please patronize the channel via Patreon, also YouTube memberships. That's easy to do. Just hit the join button, and you've become part of Crazy World with Dave. Yeah, all with just one click of a mouse. Sounds like a plan. Thanks again, folks. See you soon.